Animal species that the best scientists can't explain. Nature is full of strange animals, but these 5. Yeah, even top scientists look at them and go, wait, how is that even possible? Yep, these creatures break so many biological rules that researchers are still trying to figure them out. Before we dive into them, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. 1. Axolotl. Let's start with an animal that honestly looks like it came from a cartoon. The axolotl lives in the ancient lake system around Mexico City, particularly Lake Xochimilco. Unlike most amphibians, which grow up and leave the water, axolotls stay aquatic their entire lives. And here's the weird part. Most amphibians go through metamorphosis, like tadpoles turning into frogs. But axolotls basically say, nah, we're good. They stay in their larval form forever. This phenomenon is called neoteny, and scientists are still studying why axolotls evolved this way. Instead of developing lungs and moving onto land, axolotls keep their feathery external gills, their wide heads, and the permanent underwater lifestyle. Now let's talk about reproduction. During breeding season, male axolotls deposit packets of sperm called spermatophores on the lake floor. The female collects these packets and later lays hundreds of eggs, attaching them to aquatic plants. But the real reason scientists are obsessed with axolotls: regeneration. If an axolotl loses a limb, it doesn't just heal the wound. Nope, it grows the entire limb back, bones, muscles, nerves, and all. And that's not the end of it. Axolotls can regenerate spinal cord tissue, parts of their brain, their tail, and even sections of their heart. And scientists are studying this ability intensely, hoping it might one day help humans regenerate damaged tissues. But despite being famous in labs, axolotls are critically endangered in the wild due to pollution and invasive fish. So the animal helping scientists unlock the secrets of regeneration is barely surviving in its natural home. Nature is weird like that. 2. Platypus. If evolution had a sense of humor, it probably created the platypus. When European scientists first saw one in the late 1700s, many thought it was a prank. Seriously, some believed someone had stitched together different animals. And honestly, it kind of looks like it. The platypus lives in freshwater rivers and streams across eastern Australia. It has the bill of a duck, the tail of a beaver, and the webbed feet of an otter. But here's where it gets even stranger. Platypuses are mammals that lay eggs. Only 5 species on Earth do this, and they belong to a group called monotremes. During breeding season, female platypuses dig deep burrows along riverbanks. Inside the burrow, they lay 1 to 3 leathery eggs, which they curl around to keep warm until they hatch. Once the babies emerge, they drink milk from their mother. But here's the twist. Platypuses don't have nipples. Instead, milk seeps through special pores in the mother's skin, and the babies lap it up from the fur. Yep, nature really went freestyle with this one. But there's one more bizarre detail. Male platypuses have venomous spurs on their hind legs. During breeding season, these spurs deliver a venom strong enough to cause intense pain in humans. And their hunting strategy, even weirder. When a platypus dives underwater, it closes its eyes, ears, and nostrils. So how does it find food? It uses electroreception in its bill to detect the tiny electrical signals produced by the muscles of prey. Basically, the platypus can sense movement in total darkness. Yep, this animal is basically a living biological puzzle. 3. Sowler. Now let's talk about one of the most mysterious animals on Earth. The sowler, often called the Asian unicorn. This rare antelope lives deep in the dense forests along the Annamite Mountains between Vietnam and Laos. And here's the wild part. Scientists only discovered the sowler in 1992. For an animal this large, that's incredibly recent. Even today, almost no one has seen one in the wild. Sowlers are shy, elusive, and prefer dense forest environments far away from humans. They have long, straight horns that can grow up to 20 inches long, and both males and females have them. As for reproduction, scientists believe sowlers breed similarly to other antelope species, giving birth to a single calf after a gestation period of about 8 months. But because they are so rarely observed, much of their lifestyle remains a mystery. We know they browse on forest plants and shrubs. We know they move quietly through dense vegetation. But there are still huge gaps in our understanding. In fact, most scientific knowledge about sowlers comes from camera traps and local reports. And sadly, the species is now critically endangered, mainly due to illegal hunting traps set for other animals. Many sowlers accidentally get caught in these traps, which means one of the world's rarest mammals might disappear before we even fully understand it. That's a pretty sobering thought. 4. Goblin shark. Now let's head into the deep ocean and meet something that looks like it belongs in a sci-fi horror movie. The goblin shark. This deep-sea shark lives at depths of up to 4,000 feet in oceans around the world. Down there, sunlight barely exists. The goblin shark has a long, flattened snout and pale pink skin that almost looks translucent. But its most famous feature? Its jaw. Unlike most sharks, the goblin shark has extremely protrusible jaws. When it attacks prey, its jaws shoot forward like a spring-loaded trap, grabbing fish and squid in a fraction of a second. Scientists call this mechanism slingshot feeding. It's one of the fastest jaw movements in the ocean. Goblin sharks reproduce through ovoviviparity, meaning embryos develop inside eggs that remain within the mother's body until they hatch. Eventually, the young sharks are born alive. Their lifestyle is slow and stealthy. They glide through the darkness, using sensitive organs to detect vibrations from prey. But because they live so deep underwater, scientists rarely observe them alive. Most knowledge about goblin sharks comes from individuals accidentally caught in deep-sea fishing nets. Which means there's still a lot we don't know, including how many of them actually exist. 5. Immortal jellyfish. And finally, we arrive at perhaps the strangest creature on this list. A tiny jellyfish that might have discovered the secret to biological immortality. Meet the immortal jellyfish. This species lives in oceans around the world, drifting through warm coastal waters. Like other jellyfish, it reproduces by releasing eggs and sperm into the water column. These fertilized eggs develop into larvae, which eventually settle on the ocean floor and grow into polyps. From there, the polyps bud off new jellyfish. Pretty standard jellyfish life cycle, until something unusual happens. When an immortal jellyfish experiences stress, injury, or starvation, it can perform something extraordinary. Instead of dying, it reverts to its juvenile polyp stage. Basically, it resets its entire life cycle. Imagine an adult butterfly suddenly turning back into a caterpillar. Yeah, that's essentially what this jellyfish can do. Scientists call this process transdifferentiation, where cells transform into completely different types. And yes, this means the jellyfish can theoretically repeat its life cycle indefinitely. Of course, most still die from predators or disease. But biologically, they might never have to age. Nature casually created an animal that can cheat death. These animals remind us of something incredible. Nature is far stranger, and far more creative, than we often realize. From amphibians that regenerate organs, to mammals that lay eggs, to jellyfish that can reset their lives. These species are living proof that our planet still holds mysteries we barely understand. And that's exactly why protecting them matters. Because once a species disappears, we lose more than just an animal. We lose knowledge, possibilities, and maybe even discoveries that could change our future. So if you love learning about incredible wildlife like this, stick around. Subscribe, respect the wild places these animals call home, and help make sure the strangest, most fascinating creatures on Earth don't vanish before we truly understand them.